Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Marcia Tucker, author of the Perseus series, a series of speculative science fiction that I'd like to tell you a little bit about. I write about a time in the 30th century when man has gone to the stars, or rather I should say humankind, and discovered some other species there. And there is a lot of space travel going on. I cover themes such as telepathy, artificial intelligence, alternate universes, genetic engineering, you name it. My books are very character driven, so you will meet characters that you will fall in love with and you will want to read more. And I keep writing more because they keep giving me stories to tell. So the first book is Andromeda, and the spelling, you notice that there's an E there. It's not, it looks like Andromeda the galaxy, but it is Andromeda, which is the name of a starship. A lot of the starships have names in this fleet that I write about that begin with the letter A. So I picked Andromeda, but there's a twist. Andro is a root for man, Medea for the Greek play by Euripides, Medea. Let me tell you a little bit about that, because the concept of a Medea person is central to the entire series. There are two characters in particular who consider themselves to be a Medea, and you will be meeting them over and over again. So what about this play? So this was a play by Euripides that he wrote for a contest to be performed in front of a live audience in Athens. This is, ancient times. So this was one of three plays. As it turned out, the audience hated the play. And they did not like the main character, Medea, at all, because she was presented as a barbarian princess who did and said outrageous things that the audiences they didn't know what to do with. They couldn't handle her. So this was somebody that was like nobody they'd ever met before. They didn't know what to do with. That's the concept of a Medea that I'm working with in this series. So this entire series takes place in a federation of stars that I call the United Star Communities. Everybody has pretty much left Earth, which I'm calling Terra. All that Terra is anymore is basically a museum planet and a research facility. So access to Terra is very, very limited. There are other planets in the solar system and moons that are populated. There's other star systems that have habitable planets that they have either terraformed, or in the case of the planet Draco of the Alsafi system, which was Sigma Draconis in that constellation. That planet happened to be one that they did not need to terraform. But so mankind is out into the stars. They have encountered other aliens, some of whom appear human-like, which led to the theory and the acceptance that there was an origin species that seeded these other planets. And that's something that you come across sometimes in science fiction. And it's been a theory that maybe humankind did not actually originate on the Earth in the form that we know now. Could be an earlier form that was seeded. And then we became evolved. We became the humans that we are today. So there's other species out there, which I firmly believe. It's too much of a coincidence to think that we would be the only species that would be out there. So the United Star Communities is a federation, and it has a research arm called the Perseus Defense Agency. Perseus refers to the section of the galaxy that our solar system is located, which is near the Perseus arm of the galaxy. It's actually in the Orion Spur. I didn't like the term Orion series. So Orion Spur is considered part of the Perseus arm. So I went with that. Also, because of the tie-in with Greek mythology, I went with that also. Medea, I think, is she's a daughter of Helios, but there's a connection with Perseus in there somewhere. So they have the Perseus Defense Agency. So there is a mobile space-borne arm of that called the Perseus Defense Fleet. So those are the larger starships. Think of the Starship Enterprise or the Orville or one of those. There's also a smaller group, used to be called the Special Mission Corps. It's now called the Perseus Guard. Think Navy SEALs, Army Rangers. This is a smaller group of troubleshooters that handle really dangerous and out there situations, like they would handle alien contact and things like that. Now, another twist that I have put in this universe, again, I write speculative fiction. What if humans in 1,000 years, some have developed telepathic powers? Okay, so the telepathy also becomes a factor. So everyone that's in this Perseus Guard, because of the nature of their work, they must be of a certain telepathic level. I have levels like 1 through 8. So they have to be a level 6 or up to 8 to be in the Perseus Guard, because their powers are needed for, whatever the situation may be that they have to be involved in. The book starts with an event that is a contact of an alien civilization of cyborgs that does some pretty nasty things. And so our main character, which you can see on the cover here, this is our main character of this book. His name is Vecta. Vecta is a retired one of these Perseus Guard members, which we call Star Guards. He's a retired Star Guard because he had a death in his family. He lost his spouse in a shuttle accident, and he moved to a very remote planet called kind of a dirt ball of a planet with his twin children, very precocious children. They moved there, and he developed, he's a cybernetic engineer also. So he developed the Crater class cybernism. I coined the word to connect organism with cyber. There are some organic components. So this cybernism. Now, on the cover here, you see this, you can kind of see, this is a hexagonal light. That is the viewport of these, the Crater class cybernism. This particular one, he's just called Crater Tri-01, 0001. He's the first one. He's a character in the books. A lot of the story has to do with him. He also will appear on other covers, but so we get a lot of his observations of what's going on around him. So Vecta is a telepath, and he is drawn back into the work of the Guard. First, he's drawn back to the fleet. There's a new star drive that's been developed, and it happens to be that the only supercomputer, which the cybernism could be a supercomputer, the only supercomputer that can handle the navigations for this new star drive happens to be Crater. So they all get pulled back in. So that's where this book comes in. The second book, now these were originally 2 books. This is the Eye of the Gazelle. That's another of my favorite characters on there. Her name is Novella. They get involved in this situation, not only with the cyborgs, but with other things. So we have an observer who kind of looks like a dolphin with big ears, but lives in an entirely different galaxy, in an entirely different universe. Alternate universes. How fun is that? So she lives in another universe. She's been watching. She has the telepathic power to see into the time streams. She can see into the future. She's been doing a little bit of manipulating. So she has to do something, first of all, to get Vecta to go back to work. Basically, she's kind of subtly involved in all that. But as it turns out, there is another entity that has, from another universe, that has done something in that universe that causes a bubble in the dimensional space of our universe. So the Guard is definitely called in, and so are the people of this Andromeda. This is a Defender class starship called the Andromeda that they start out with. So they have to deal with the situation and who they encounter. A lot of fun. A lot of hard stuff going on. There's a lot of things that they have to face in themselves and the burden of responsibility of those powers. And that's all I will say for now. So please stay tuned. I plan to do a lot more of these videos. I will tell you more about my characters. that keep me writing. I love them. They keep me engaged, and I keep thinking of more things for them to do. I'll just keep writing, right? So thank you for listening, and goodbye.